Bam.
Bam is right, man. That was awesome. I love
Oh,
that.
yeah. Your new custom theme by Joan Saez, all the way from Chile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did a good job.
Yeah, he did. He did a bang up job. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Welcome back to the stream, everyone. I'm
Welcome.
your co-host, Alex, and then we got in first chair here, the legendary salsa shaman, Mario Mijares. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you. What's up, everybody? Hello. Today we're going to talk about um, the movie Space Jam and one of the producers of the movie Space Jam, what's his name?
Harvard. Oh, it's in the description. I don't quite have it. It starts with an H.
Some guy piece of shit. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so
his ugly name cannot grace these beautiful lips, so I
no, they
refuse to say
cannot.
it.
They shan't.
No.
Not. They shall not. No. So we're going to talk about this. One of these producers from the movie Space Jam, um, who recently just got caught trying to pick up a 15-year-old girl that he was talking to on a dating site, and it was a bait trap. Um, the father came in when the daughter and the producer were meeting at a pizza shop, at all places,
Mhm.
considering Pizzagate.
Yeah.
And he was confronted. There were cameras and other people present for that moment, and I don't think they realized who he was in the moment. I think it was after the matter when they started posting that on the internet. I think somebody pointed out, oh shit, that's this guy. He's a fucking movie producer, and now it's opened up a lot. And so we're gonna share a clip of that moment when this producer was confronted, and then we're going to share a scene from the movie Space Jam, and talk about how the movie Space Jam is just riddled. The whole movie is just riddled with a lot of soft disclosure to the secret space program, the entire movie. But we're just going to share a small little clip, and yeah. So, anything you want to add to that, Alex?
No, this is delicious. I'm here with popcorn because I just feel like this is just going to occur more and more as
Yeah,
disclosure comes forth. So, yeah, should we see him get nabbed?
yeah. Let's. Well, I mean, I guess I want to wait until we got some viewers. I don't know. We might not get any viewers at all today. Um, while we're live, because I know everybody is at the Rebels of Disclosure conference in Illinois, which I wish we could have gone there, but it just wasn't the right timing. But so I don't know. We might not get a lot of people joining in on us live, because I know most of our viewers are currently there right now. Um, so yeah, I guess fuck it. Let's just start.
Yeah, this is good
Yeah,
for reviewing later. I'll
it
catch you
is.
on
Yeah.
the other side.
Get you on the other.
Just caught 1996 Space Jam producer and writer Herschel Weinrod trying to meet up with a 15-year-old girl on live stream. Watch this.
Why are you suing my daughter? What's your name? What is your name?
Boris. My name is Boris.
Boris. What's your name? Shake my hand.
What's the problem?
Why are you suing my daughter? You know how old she is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
No.
The f you thought was gonna happen here?
Nothing. We're gonna have a pizza. I don't know.
Pizza. Yeah, you don't know? How old is she?
Brad.
You know how old she is?
I matched with her. She was 23.
23. Is that what the conversation looked like?
You know the text messages? She was 23 on a
23.
dating site.
On a dating site?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was 23 on
How old is she?
site. I have no idea.
Lila, how old are you?
15.
I'm sorry. She was 23 on a dating site. All we've done is
So
talk.
she didn't tell you how old she was?
She did.
She did?
Yeah.
How old is she?
She said she was 15.
How did she tell you how old she actually is?
She said she was 15.
She said she's 15. Why are you here? Why are you sitting?
Oh, that's great. That's all we got so far from the there's other TikToks breaking it down and stuff like that. But that's the entirety of that TikTok. But yeah,
When you sent me that video at work, you were like, dude, Space Jam producer just fucking got caught. What? I was like, what? I'm on lunch break at work and looked it up and watched the video and saw a whole article on it and was so happy to see that, but at the same time, not surprised. Um, that these Hollywood is just riddled with pedos. We call it pedalwood, and yeah, I was really happy to see this guy fucking get exposed here in that moment in such a humiliating way. With big ass fucking jacked up father, shake my hand, little bitch.
and he did it. He did
He
it.
was
Okay.
like, shake my hand. And you could tell that guy was like so scared that he was gonna get his ass beat that he couldn't even lie. He's like, she didn't tell you how old she was. He's like, she did. She did. Yes, she did. 15. We're having pizza. Yeah, it was good.
Pizza of all foods.
I know of all the foods, pizza, which we have the whole Pizzagate scandal thing, and uh, you know, uh, yeah, it makes me wonder, how many times this guy's been on Epstein Island and all this sort of stuff, and um, I'm sure that there's a whole lot more behind this man and all the things that he's been a part of. Just out of curiosity, let's figure out what other movies
I'm just gonna
he's
pull up his
created.
IMDb.
Yeah.
Herschel Weingrod, IMDb. Should have pulled up his IMDb. Oh wow, he's done. And then I will pull up the input. Doop. Can you see?
Don't see it.
Oh,
Let's
doop.
see. What other movies has this guy made? Born
Let's
October
see.
30th, Outer Range, or
Oh wow, Kindergarten Cop. Oh, my stepmother is
Kindergarten. Another thing with kids, Kindergarten Cop. My stepmother is an alien.
alien. Oh, he did.
Undocumented executive. Teen Titans.
Do you remember that movie?
Teen Titans is a cartoon show um, on Cartoon Network, and there's a lot of Illuminati, Freemasonry disclosure in that kid television show at all.
Oh really?
Also, yeah.
Oh wow.
So Kindergarten Cop 2, Twins, Lifted, My Stepmother is an Alien, Brewster's Millions, Trading Place, Cheaper to Keep Her. That's a weird title. A newly divorced swinger on the prowl goes to work as a detective for a neurotic feminist attorney.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was having. It seems like his moment was late '80s, early
Really
'90s. I
early night.
remember.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved this movie. Like I guess he gets shot in the end, and I was just like crying.
Right. Yeah. That was a good movie. And also that movie was filmed in Astoria, Oregon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Along with
Oh
along with
jeez.
Ninja Turtles, with the Ninja Turtles. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting, interesting.
Yeah, all the Space Jams came back. I
Um,
remember when this came out, and I was in middle school, and everyone was into it. I have never like sat through it. I never watched it, but
I
everybody
did.
was just obsessed with it. You did?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little kid. I was 6 years old when this movie came out, and it was randomly like my grandfather randomly showed up to our house and was like, "I'm gonna take my grandson to go watch this movie." And it was our little secret between my parents because my sister was only 3 years old, and if she would have known Grandpa was picking me up to take me to a movie, she would have thrown a fucking little bitch fit. Um, so I had to sneak out of the apartment and meet Grandpa outside and hopped in his car and we drove down to the movie theaters and watched this movie. And I have to say, because I do remember being in the theaters watching this Space Jam movie,
Mhm.
I felt weird. Like I didn't like I don't even know how to explain it because it was so long ago. All I can say is that I was how do I say it? I was like very I was very aware. I was like very conscious of the whole day for some reason, that whole event. And when the movie was over, I felt really tired and also like I had some kind of a headache. And I remember
Mhm.
I felt slightly disoriented when the movie was over and we were leaving the theater and walking through the whole theater and going back to the car. And there was a moment when we were leaving the theater where there was a big cardboard cutout for another movie that had just came out at that same time with John Travolta. And I still have not ever seen this movie. But it was a movie with John Travolta where he was an angel and he had like big old angel wings. You know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, I think I saw it when I was a kid.
I have not seen that movie, but I remember when I saw that cardboard cutout after the watching the movie Space Jam, I had like these feelings, like these thoughts, and I was a kid
Mhm.
back then. You know, I was like 6 years old, right? And for some reason, when I saw that, I had this thought where I told myself, "That's me," you know, that angel is me. Very weird, very very weird. Um,
That's funny because I just pulled it up and I see the angel thing you're talking
show
about.
us, show us. And,
Doop.
and I don't know what this movie is about.
I think he's like an angel who comes to Earth and is like amongst humans and has to do shit, which kind of sounds like your storyline a little bit.
Uh huh.
I
Uh
didn't
huh.
pull this up fast enough, but there's some. You see his little wings.
Yeah.
Maybe we
Yeah.
replay it.
Really, really weird. Really, really interesting. Can you scroll down to
Meet an angel who will charm your soul,
I don't know if that's playing
lift
music.
your spirits,
it is.
and
Oh, you can hear
shape
it?
your world.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I'm a writer too.
Oh, really? What did you write?
Psalm 80.
Okay. Meh. He didn't write psalms.
Uh,
Um,
what's the storyline of the movie? Does it say anywhere on there? Right
two
there.
tabloid reporters checking out a report of the Archangel Michael living with an old woman find that it's true. But that's not the only surprise.
The fucking 90s.
I know, right? Oh, when
Um,
times were simpler. Oh,
yeah, you know, and I'm
oops.
gonna tell you something interesting, which I didn't know this about my birth chart until the Peace Dealer had explained this. So there's a star. What's the name of the star? It's with an A. I don't think it's Alcyone. Or
Alderbon? Alderbon?
Aldebaran. Aldebaran.
Aldebaran?
So I have Aldebaran on my moon in Gemini at 10 degrees. And he was saying one time that people who have a Gemini moon 10 degrees have Aldebaran directly on their moon, which means that they are a direct conduit and expression of Archangel Michael energy. And I never knew this, you
Oh.
know. So I find that connection very interesting, and I haven't really put much energy or time or effort investigating it. Um, but I'm sure that there's a lot there, and um, you know, because yeah. Anyways,
Well, it's another piece of the puzzle that clicks into place. You know, like
it
it's a
is.
huge mosaic, a huge tile mosaic, and it's one tile that goes in the mosaic.
Yeah, yeah, and so 1996. You know, this was right around the time when everything was happening to me. You know, this this was this was right around the time where I was being taken and I was being put in these programs. I was being tested. I was being visited. I was being abducted. Um, a lot of fucking things were happening to me at that time. And as we understand with this whole secret space program, what they're doing, you know, they like I'm an angelic soul, like I'm an angelic being, and and I'm not saying that from like a weird new age ego thing. Like, I'm saying it from an astrological perspective because I'm a sun Gemini and a moon Gemini. And in astrology, Gemini is the angel of the zodiac because Gemini is the messenger. They're here to bring messages. And in biblical terms, what are messengers? Angels. And so because I have a sun in Gemini and a moon in Gemini, that means I'm that really uh, um, amplifies the qualities of my angelic soul and spirit. So the sun would be the spirit, angelic spirit. Moon would be the soul, angelic soul. So I'm a true angel in that sense. And then with my Scorpio rising, I'm a pure, I'm a pure like royal embodiment of this angelic frequency. And then my Gemini energy is in the eighth house, which is the domain of the occults, of what's hidden, of what's kept secret. So, to sum that all up, as an angelic, I'm an angelic being that emanated through the eighth house of the physical world, which is from secrets, the occults, the underground unconscious realm, which is exactly what I chose to be born into, being born in a dysfunctional environment, dysfunctional family with drugs and in the belly of the beast of Los Angeles. Um, so, anyways, we're now at 18 minutes, and I'm ready to play that Space Jam clip if you're ready, and then we'll break it down from there.
Let's do it. I'll see you on the other side. But this is just imagine 6-year-old Mario watching this, and this is for fair use and commentary. So it is possible we will get a copyright strike, but we'll see.
Very
Yeah.
What kind of camera is that?
It's just
Would you not point that at me, please, and close the lens cap?
I ain't doing that. Just
Where'd he go?
Oh, look out for that first step, Doc. It's a real Lulu.
Bugs Bunny.
You were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
You're a cartoon. You're not real.
Not real, eh? If I weren't real, could I do this? Oh, look. Is that Michael? Michael! Oh, it's Air Jordan. Basketball.
I thought. I did see Michael Jordan. Pardon me, Mr. Jordan. Could I have your your John Hancock, please?
Back up! Let the doctor take a look.
Whoops. A little high.
No.
Going down. So, what do you say we go for a little spin? Yeah.
Now let's see what we got inside here.
Yoo-lee-hoo. Say off. All right. He's okay.
What's going on here?
Why, Michael? I thought you'd never ask. You see, these aliens come from outer space, and they want to make us slaves in their theme park. What do we care? They're little, so we challenge them to a basketball game. But then they show up, and they ain't so little. They're huge! We need to beat these guys, because they're talking about slavery. They're gonna make us do stand-up comedy, the same jokes every night for all eternity. We're gonna be locked up like wild animals and then trotted out to perform for a bunch of lowbrow, bug-eyed, fat-headed, humor-challenged aliens. What I'm trying to say is, we need your help!
Yeah, but I'm a baseball player now.
Right. And I'm a Shakespearean actor.
Michael, it's Stan. Stan Podolak. Look, I need you to come out now, okay? Because you got a baseball game tomorrow. I look pretty stupid if you don't show up.
You think Michael's all right? Boy, I hate to leave him like this.
Oh, I'm sure he's fine. I think he just had to get away from that Stan character.
God, he's pathetic, isn't he?
Yeah. Larry, I'm going to give us both twos back there. We weren't in any kind of emotional state to putt.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Now, if Mike is gone, the NBA is going to need some new people. There's room at the top, an exciting kind of guy who could maybe even perform at halftime. Now, are you still tight with the...
Oh my lord.
Yeah. So, you know, this whole Space Jam clip played a big part in me truly accepting and now knowing that what I've been suspecting had happened to me actually did happen to me. So my whole journey in trying to um, understand my life and put pieces together, um, and try to gain memories of, you know, of what could have possibly happened to me. Um, my journey was very intense, and this whole secret space program stuff. This is really fucking crazy. Like, it shatters your whole world view, your whole world paradigm, to try to integrate the fact that you've been taken from some point in your earliest years in life and inducted in programs and mind wiped and then sent back in time and periodically abducted and used and fractured. This is very crazy things to entertain, to accept, to talk about, to even ponder on if you're a sane person in today's societal standards, right? This is absolutely ludicrous shit to talk about. And I'm the kind of person that really chooses to take their time with something before taking everything as fact and face value. And so I had been paying attention to a lot of whistleblowers about not only the secret space program, but about the Illuminati, Freemasons, Hollywood. Um, in my earlier years in this journey in 2018, 2019, I listened and paid attention to a lot of what Corey Good and David Wilcott were talking about. I was watching on the Gaia Network Cosmic Disclosure, where I watched a lot of episodes. I watched all of Tony Rodriguez's episode. Another person, I think his name was Jason Rice, and Corey Good and Emery Smith. And
Mm-hmm.
every time I would watch an episode of one of these people, like, it felt like I just had this strong feeling that I've been involved in these same things that they're talking about, but having no memory, no empirical facts or evidence to actually validate or confirm back then. And so over the years, I have gained more contact with people in their 50s that were part of the first generation of children being put in the programs. And they helped me piece a lot of things together, and expanded my perspective to see how certain things in my life were very unusual. And so from then on, I've been in this journey of allowing naturally and organically and in proper time, allowing my subconscious mind to give me little pieces here and there for when I can handle it, to remember something. Like, for example, there was a period during those years, the same time when that movie Space Jam came out, there was a period where I was waking up outside of our apartment at like
In the
2,
middle of the
3 in
night?
the morning, in the middle of the night, where I'm waking up and I'm standing up and I'm looking up at the sky. And then because I come to and I'm outside and it's in the middle of the night and I can barely see and I'm just a small child, I start crying because I can't see and I'm disoriented and I don't know how to walk back to my apartment, and I'm just wandering in the dark fucking crying, you know? So that thing, that whole thing, I did not remember that that was something that was happening until this last year, until very, very recently, you know? So I'm still in this process of certain things of my life trickling into my awareness and remembering. And, you know, when I remembered that that was something that was happening, I even asked my mother, I said, hey, do you remember there was a brief moment where, like, a handful of times, I was waking up outside of the apartment and was like crying and lost and looking for you guys? And she said, yes, I remember, but I don't want to talk about it. So, you know, that's something that actually happened. And then, you know, the other thing is, my whole life, I've had certain memories that I couldn't understand. And I didn't know if they were real or not. So, with all that being said, you know, on my journey of trying to confirm to my own self, have I been involved in these programs? Because I still don't know, like, if I have, how many altars, where I've been in space, what spaceship I've been on. You know, unlike other folks in the community who really remember, you know, oh, I was on Dark Fleet, or you know, on Kruger and Project this and Project that. Like, I those things, I those kind of details I still don't really have.
Those are still walled off.
They're still heavily walled off. And so, anyways, 2021, you know, the universe aligned things for me to start experiencing a very powerful, sacred, indigenous medicine known as bufo. And bufo is comes from a toad in the Sonora Desert in Mexico. And the you smoke the venom from the toad, and you have a very profound, powerful DMT experience where you're experiencing death, you're experiencing a true ego death, and you go into way other dimensions. So I'm at this retreat, and it was like a week long retreat where the first part was, you know, eating a certain healthy way and doing a lot of yoga and meditating and, you know, a lot of energy soul work. And then towards the weekend is when the shaman arrived to administer the bufo medicine to everybody in a ceremony. And the whole time was about setting your intention. You know, what do you want to experience? What kind of answers, what kind of healing do you want from this medicine? And for me, there was only one thing I could really focus on. And all my intention for the ceremony of this powerful, sacred medicine was I really in programs? Did all these things that I feel and suspect happen to me really happen to me? Or am I just making shit up? Because again, remember, this is very crazy shit we're talking about. And it changes everything once you accept it. It changes everything. And so I wanted to know, okay, am I just am I just in this weird fantasy because I've experienced a lot of adverse childhood trauma and haven't gone to therapy for it? And am I just escaping in this story, you know, with this trauma? And so my intention into the medicine and all my prayers were to my higher self and to my star team, to my family, to my guides, my ancestors, was I was just very frank. Look, I need to know. Am I making shit up? Am I in a fantasy? Am I fucked up? Am I more fucked up than I really think I am? Or did this shit really happen? I need to know. And if it turns out that I'm just making shit up and I'm in a weird fantasy because I'm, you know, I have a lot of childhood trauma, I will drop this whole secret space program right away and and live a happier life, right? And so, because it's exhausting, it can be very exhausting. And what it does, doing this work and trying to remember it, I don't want to say it tears you apart, but it sort of does, because
Yeah.
there's parts of there because now there's parts of my psyche, of my consciousness, that is constantly going back in time, trying to remember things, trying to see things, trying to reanalyze different details of my life. And so it it fractures you again even more to try to remember. And so um it's a very intense experience being at this point of things, you know. So I went into the ceremony, said my prayers, put a lot of focus and intention into this, and I had my book. It wasn't until a few. What was that? What did it say? It said "oops" something. Um, anyways,
Oh,
it
I
wasn't
think I
until
think
a
you
few.
sputtered.
Oh, okay. It wasn't until a few days after um, my Bufo experience, where I was just in a quiet space alone, and then either my subconscious or my higher self, I call it my council of higher selves, clearly and directly told me in my mind, go to YouTube and watch the clip from Space Jam when Michael Jordan gets pulled down the rabbit hole. And we just watched that clip. So I'm like, okay, that's a very, very clear thing to do. I will
A
do
very
that.
odd thing
Very
too. I
odd.
mean, very
So
specific.
very, very specific. And so, you know, oh, it's funny. I said, anyways. So then I go to YouTube and I'm like, all right, Space Jam, Michael Jordan, rabbit, golf course scene or whatever. I forgot how I typed it in exactly. And I watch it. And as I'm watching that, I'm like, holy shit. Yes, this is the kind of thing that I was asking for, to confirm. Is this shit real? Am I making shit up or not? And when you watch that clip, you see that there's Michael Jordan, an all-star black athlete, an American superstar, the legendary, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, right? He's at a golf course with three white men, one of them really fucking tall, you know, another one with an umbrella on his head, Umbrella
Mhm.
Corporation, the Umbrella Men, and then the other
Oh.
guy, yeah, those three white dudes are significant parts. And then we have Michael Jordan's agent, the fat guy with glasses, right? Who's taking the picture of Michael Jordan trying to grab the ball, but then he gets sucked down into the rabbit hole, and then his shoe flies off. Every single part of that is all significant, with the shoe flying off and him being sucked down the rabbit hole and the fat guy taking the picture. The fat guy taking the picture, this is the handler. Michael Jordan's handler, Michael Jordan's agent. I'm taking a picture of you. I have evidence of you doing naughty things, Mr. Michael Jordan. You are now part of the club. And then we have the tall white guy, tall white reptilian energy watching, and then we have the umbrella corporation, the umbrella man, you know. So this is an initiation. Michael Jordan being initiated and being literally strung down into the rabbit hole, you know. And as you see him being pulled down into the rabbit hole, it looks like he's being dragged down an ass, a colon. It looks like he's being dragged down a colon, and then he gets sucked into this other dimension. And he's all of a sudden in Looney Tune world. He's in Looney Tune land, um, where he's seeing all the cartoon characters, and excuse me. And so as he's there, everyone's all excited. Oh my God, Michael Jordan. But then they put him on a chair and Daffy Duck comes out. And so Daffy Duck comes out and he's dressed as this crazy, lunatic doctor, right? He's wearing the doctor coat, and he's got the whole thing on his head and the stethoscope. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me see. And he sits Michael Jordan on this chair, which the chair is associated to the trip chair. And you'll see here. So this book is
Oh.
called Project MK Ultra and Mind Control Technology. This is a massive fucking book of a lot of blueprints and patents of how this technology works into getting into the minds of people and programming there. And so they sit Michael Jordan on the trip chair, which now, you know, he's overstimulated. He's in this overstimulated animated world. He's definitely hypnotized, and his eyes are all glossy and glazed. And
Yeah.
and so then Daffy Duck, one of the first things Daffy Duck does is looks in
Oh, are you still with us?
his ear. There's a million things that the producers of this film could have put hanging out in his ear. They could have put a fly. They could have put more earwax, a lot of different things. But no, there's a whole fucking paper clip that they showed inside of Michael Jordan's ear. Okay. And
Project Paperclip or
Project
Operation
Paperclip or
Paperclip?
Operation Paperclip. Okay.
Wow.
And so, Daffy Duck being the crazy doctor, right? Daffy Duck is playing the role as the Nazi German scientist, one of the Nazi German scientists, or the whole movement of the Nazi German scientists that are part of Project Paperclip coming to America, or Operation Paperclip coming to America. So that's what they're telling you in that part. They're saying, Project Paperclip, this whole movie, we've initiated Michael Jordan. We're producing this film to recruit the new generation of super soldiers, which I was a part of in that time, in that era. And this is how we are catching them through this film. This is how we're getting their consent through this film. So that's what they're telling you in that whole scene right there, which is like maybe 15-20 minutes into the beginning of the movie, of the Space Jam movie. So after that you see the paperclip, then then Daffy Duck says, okay, he passed the inspection, and he stamps him on the head saying he's A-okay, right? So he's A-okay to be invested in by the program to turn into a super soldier, to be recruited, because not everybody has got what it takes to go through the fucking horrific things that they put you through to turn you into a super soldier. So then after Michael Jordan passes inspection, he then says, what's going on here? And then and then Bugs Bunny, sits on his lap and tells him this whole story. Well, these aliens from outer space have come down into our world, and they want to enslave us to perform comedy for them for all of eternity on their planet. And so we challenged them to a game of basketball because they were very little, but then they left and came back, and now they're huge. And we have no way of beating them, and we don't want to be slaves to these aliens. So what we're saying, Michael Jordan, is we need your help. But he says it very dramatically. We need your help, So what are they telling you right there? That's it. That's propaganda. So you need to think of this as military propaganda, as if
Just like all of Hollywood.
exactly, as if the army is saying the Viet Cong are China is trying to threaten our democracy. Which one of you brave young men will enlist into the army to fight communist China? So you have to think of that moment as in the movie, just like that kind of propaganda, because that's what it is. Because the audience, the targeting audience is not a full-grown fucking adult. The targeting audience is children, young children that still don't have the critical mind developed. So their brains are still very open, tapped in, and sponge. They're still very much activated into their full, soul essences. So that moment is an advertisement, right? Because you're a kid and you're excited because you're watching this movie. Michael Jordan, you love him, but you don't know why, but you just know you do because he's, a good basketball player. And then Looney Tunes, you fucking love watching cartoons. Now you're at the theaters and you're watching this movie. So you're getting all hyped up. And then as you're like so invested into this film, watching this movie, and you hear that part where Bugs Bunny's like, these little aliens, they want to enslave us. Will you help us? This is the backdoor consent, the energetic backdoor consent as a child, because as a child, you're sitting watching the movie and you're being hypnotized, overly stimulated with the sensory input, and you're saying, yes, yes, I want to help. I will help fight the aliens. If I was Michael Jordan, I would help. Michael Jordan help. So that's then where you're giving the consent into that moment to sign up, to be, visited or whatever. Or maybe it's not exactly how that is, but this is how I'm understanding it. This is how I'm piecing it together. And so, when I saw that clip after the Bufo ceremony, I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is what I needed. And it just opened up a whole fucking can of worms. Um, oh, here we go. So this is what I was looking for. So you see that, right? So this is the trip chair. You sitting in here and you're hooked up to all these monitors. And you're in this room that acts as like a hyperbolic chamber where no other frequencies can come in and interrupt what is happening here. And as you're in this chair, you're viewing this screen, this concave screen, and then you have headphones on or whatever, and you're being completely programmed. You're being completely hypnotized. And so this is what they do. This is how they program people. This is how they wipe people's memories. Um, it's very, very intense. It's very fucked up, very intense shit. And so I have some channeled artwork that I created over the years in my life. And in one of the channeled art pieces, which I wish I had available to show you guys right now, but I don't, um, I drew something that looked a lot like this, where it was me sitting in a chair in a white hyperbolic chamber, looking at something and being programmed by AI. Okay, so when I channeled this drawing, I had no idea about the trip chair. I knew about MK Ultra programming, but that's not what was in my mind at that moment. When I was drawing this portrait, which is a big portrait, I was just staring into a blank piece of paper, and then started drawing the first thing that was coming to me, and that was it. And so it wasn't until, like how I mentioned before, when I started meeting other people in the flesh that have been in these programs. These people were 20 years older than me. They're OGs in this whole. They were understanding. They were super soldiers before I was even born. Okay, so one of these people in particular, I showed her my art, and I was going to explain the art in the way I understood it. Like, oh yeah, and she's like, shh, I don't want to hear what you think you drew, because you don't understand how programmed you are to not remember. I need to look at this without any input from you. And she's looking at my work, and she sees the portrait where I draw me sitting in the chair and this big thing, and she's like, this is the trip chair. She's like, and you should have seen her face. She's like, do you know what this is? Do you know what you drew here? And I'm like, me sitting in a chair praying? She's like, no, that's what you think, but that's not what that is. This is the trip chair. And the moment she said trip chair, she started getting like heavy psychic attacks. And she's like, oh no. She's like, I'm going to have to stop because the authorities just got so fucking mad that I even said the word trip chair. And she's like, I'm going to be fucking really attacked for the next while because I just gave you that bit of information, but that's all I can give you for now. And so I was like, okay, trip chair, okay, whatever. And, you know, I didn't put too much effort into it and to try to uncovering more. I was like, because I'm all about letting things happen in this organic way, because I have a personality trait that can be very obsessive and in an unhealthy way. And, I personally think we need time to integrate. We need moments to integrate, because I don't want to, and also I understand that the subconscious mind, the ego, is trying to protect me. So I don't want to force myself into something that I can't handle. Um, so she gave me that key code access, trip chair. And then I come across this book a few years later, Project MK Ultra and Mind Control, a compilation of patents and reports. And so in this book, they talk about Operation Paperclip. They talk about the CIA, the Majestic 12, the beginning of everything, and what happened, and how the MK Ultra programs were started. And as I was flipping, what got me to buy this book was I was flipping through the pages, and I saw this. I saw things like this, and I was like, son of a bitch.
I gotta get this book.
I was like, son of a bitch. This is the trip chair. This is the trip chair shit that she was talking about. And God, I wish I had that picture of mine, um, so I can show you guys. Um, but in this book, oh, here it is. Here it is. So this one right here, I drew almost exactly the same fucking image in my thing.
Oh
Almost the
wow.
same fucking image, okay? Um and so I was like, okay, a new connection. This really happened. And then after the ceremony and my guides told me look up Space Jam, and I see that clip. Okay. So the other thing I want to mention about the Space Jam movie is the aliens, right? The aliens that have came in to the aliens that have came into oh
Can
you
I
got something?
interrupt for a second?
Yeah, yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember,
Galaxina.
my past life, the
Hmm.
chair. Do
Oh
you see that on the
shit.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like the most iconic little picture from that cult classic film. So
Wow. Have you seen that movie
interesting.
yet?
Yeah, I did. It was awful.
I I bet it's so
She
awful.
hated
I
it.
have to watch it too.
It was campy. I think in my current form, I had a good time watching it, and I think in that past form, it was like I am humiliated. I think that was the humiliation ritual. So, so it's not easy to watch, but campy. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I get it. But I'm gonna try to pull up that video because um I want to show you guys the art that I drew so you can understand how fucking mind blowing crazy this is for me. All right, I found it. So give me a brief moment. I'm gonna pull up the art here.
Sure.
Okay.
And I'll chime in and say like your experience here in that trip chair, I think mirrors a lot of ritual and trauma programming as well. Seems to be kind of the same mechanism or apparatus or similar method for going about that. So it seems to be kind of a common way to get a person to fracture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna share the
Yeah.
screen. Hold on.
Click
Screen
share
share.
screen. Yeah.
Okay. Screen.
And then choose whatever tab you have.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
So you see it,
And
right?
then,
Okay. So this is the portrait,
oops.
and you see the Mesa. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, well, click to exit full screen. So it may be maybe exit full
Oh,
screen
oh, okay, okay.
because I think
Is that
that's like
better?
a different tab or something. Yeah, that helps.
You see it? Okay. All right. So,
Oh, the checker floor. That's signature.
hmm
Where am I? I see the dove. I don't hear. I don't. If you're speaking, we don't hear speaking in this.
oh, okay. So, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, but
Okay,
not the
good, good,
video
good.
input.
All right. So here's the drawing. Boom. That's the
Oh,
chair. That's the fucking
yeah.
chair, and this is the white room, and that's the screen. Ones and zeros, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. AI programming, bombardment of all these frequencies, all these energies here. And so I fucking channeled this fucking thing, dude. I drew this thing, and I was like, oh, I'm sitting in a chair praying to fucking something. And yeah, you see that? That's fucking cool. So I want you guys that screen share done.
Mhm.
Hey, look at our faces. There we go.
Actually, maybe that's a.
So
Oh, that's a lot
so
of face.
you see the fucking chair right there, right?
I do.
There's the fucking chair. And then look at that. The same kind of room, all right? I fucking drew that shit in 2018, bro. 2018. And during that time in 2018, I wasn't even close to entertaining the idea that I also was in these programs. Because back then I was watching people share like Corey Good and all that stuff because it was fascinating and it had some type of resonance with me. But in no way ever was I watching it and saying, me too, you know? Because it's crazy. It's crazy shit, you know? I gotta do a time check. Okay, good. So the other thing about that movie is those aliens that got challenged to play basketball against the Looney Tunes. So they didn't really know what the game basketball was. So they looked it up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we can't play. We're so fucking small. We're going to lose." They tricked us. So you know what they did? They went and found um all of the best basketball players, ranked basketball players at that time, and they stole their talent. And so when you watch the movie, there's a part in the movie where those aliens are going into the basketball games, and they're going into the body of an all star player, and they're taking their talent and then they're using that talent to then transform their bodies. So those aliens, they go through a transformation where now they're super, right? Now they're big, they're buff, and they know how to play basketball. Okay, this is also another thing about what they do. When you're in the program, you get fractured, you get juiced up, you get all these things happen to you. Meanwhile, so it in this analogy, you have to think of the alien as your super soldier part and what they're doing to your super soldier side, and then you have to
Mm-hmm.
look at the basketball players as your human side in this here and now. Because what happens throughout the movie with those basketball players that got their talent stolen is now they're all fucked up because they don't know what happened to them. They're like, I don't know what happened. I can't even dribble a ball. And they're going to therapy and they're all fucked up and they're all depressed, right? So this is the other part of what's happening to people like myself when they don't understand what happened to them, but something changed, something happened. Okay, and it's not until the end of the movie where Michael Jordan comes back and has the glowing basketball where all those players touch the basketball and they get back their powers. They get back their talent, and they're able to play basketball again.
It's like that weird glowing orb that like Trump held in Saudi Arabia.
Oh
Remember that a
wow.
few years
Yeah, yeah,
ago?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the first thing I thought of. That's
Yeah, I never
ooh,
thought about that.
weird.
Super weird. So, you know, that's what what we intended to talk about today. We wanted to, I wanted to take this opportunity to the opportunity of one of the producers of the movie Space Jam being caught at a pizza shop trying to pick up a 15-year-old girl, and just add and throw more gasoline to the fire of Petalwood being exposed, sharing the clip of that movie. And why don't we show that Space Jam clip one more time? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, the Space Jam one that we just described.
Yeah, the Space
Awesome.
Jam one there. Yeah.
We'll play it one more time and we'll see you on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of camera is that?
It's just.
Would you not point that at me, please, and close the lens
I
cap?
ain't doing that. Just.
Where'd he go?
Oh, look out for that first step, Doc. It's a real Lulu.
Bugs Bunny.
You were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
You're a cartoon. You're not real.
Not real, eh? If I weren't real, could I do this? Oh, look. Is that Michael? Michael! Oh, it's Air Jordan. Basketball.
I thought. I did team Michael Jordan. Pardon me, Mr. Jordan. Could I have your your John Hancock, please?
Back up! Let the doctor take a look.
Whoops. A little high.
No.
Going down. So, what do you say we go for a little spin? Yeah. Now let's see what we got inside here. Yodelay-hoo. Say All right, he's okay.
What's going on here?
Why, Michael? I thought you'd never ask. You see, these aliens come from outer space, and they want to make us slaves in their theme park. What do we care? They're little, so we challenge them to a basketball game. But then they show up, and they ain't so little. They're huge! We need to beat these guys, because they're talking about slavery. They're gonna make us do stand-up comedy. The same jokes every night for all eternity. We're gonna be locked up like wild animals and then trotted out to perform for a bunch of lowbrow, bug-eyed, fat-headed, humor-challenged aliens. What I'm trying to say is, we need your help!
Yeah, but I'm a baseball player now.
Right. And I'm a Shakespearean actor.
Michael? It's Stan. Stan Podolak. Look, I need you to come out now, okay? Because you got a baseball game tomorrow. I look pretty stupid if you don't show up.
You think Michael's all right? Boy, I hate to leave him like this.
Oh, I'm sure he's fine. I think he just had to get away from that Stan character.
God, he's pathetic, isn't he?
Yeah. Larry, I'm going to give us both twos back there. We weren't in any kind of emotional state to putt.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Now, if Mike is gone, the NBA is going to need some new people. There's room at the top, an exciting kind of guy who could maybe even perform at halftime. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Watching that with
it hits different once I break all it down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a new thing that adds even more emphasis that I just realized right now with the whole paperclip in his ear is when you're seeing that point of the paperclip from the ear and seeing Bugs Bunny is at the other end and he goes yodelay-hee-hoo. And what country yodels?
Oh, like Switzerland?
The fucking Germans and Switzerland. I looked it up just now. Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So Project Paperclip, German, yodelay-hee-hoo, into the ear, you know? Son of a bitch, man. Son of a fucking bitch.
The doctor's outfit was very 1940s, too.
Oh,
it wasn't like a modern physician. Like a white lab coat. That's what we in America would associate with a medical practitioner.
Yeah.
And then that was very like was very Operation Paperclip. Oh, that's
Wasn't it?
wild.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it, dude?
I mean,
Yeah.
this is kind of like I get into the, there's certain telegraphing of intent and state of being and this and that. And what is kind of funny about this is it very much mirrors like I've said this on another podcast, but like me being gay at BYU, right? Where you're like, you kind of telegraph and, certain people are watching for like things that you kind of project and you have to have that plausible deniability. And so you kind of put that out there. And then if somebody calls you on it, you're like, what? And then it's a whole fucking cat and mouse game. And
Mm-hmm.
similarly here, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, people watching may just be like why are these people parsing a simple child's movie or something, but there's a lot of like telegraphing of intent, like what actually goes on, and then like just sort of a, like you said earlier, a backdoor to manufactured consent, because
Mm-hmm.
in the eyes of a child your age, 6 years old, like everything is real, and imagination is real, and
Mm-hmm.
so when this is bombarded at you, you're like, oh, I'm in, and this is real, and it's very funny. It explains a lot of, people have pointed out like occultist symbolism in kids cartoons, like the Eye of Providence, or you know um this or that, or Masonic symbols, or checkered floors, and it just seems like, why is this in a children's cartoon? Like what does a child have to do with this? But I think all these things are becoming nakedly evident. And now that you've told us this over the past hour, like, do you want to leave us with like, where do you think things are going, or like what the next step is? Because like the guy who pushed this on the world's youth got caught pulling his own shenanigans. He's always been hidden in plain sight and protected by the powerful for years and years, and it took like one little like misstep for him to get very publicly um humiliated. Oh, he's gone. Oh, you're back.
Sorry.
You there?
I don't know where it's going. Um, but I can say this: there are people such as myself, that are going to be speaking at an event in July, the Full Disclosure Now conference, which is the first it's the first time that this conference is happening, and it's part of an upstarting nonprofit organization, to help the disclosure movement happen. We can't see the screen if you're sharing it.
Oh, boop.
So we're having this conference in July in Florida. I'm going to be speaking. A lot of other amazing speakers. Go down to the speakers. Um, yeah, there's a lot of amazing speakers: Penny Bradley, Carrie Cassidy, Tony Rodriguez, Lauren Eisenhower, Misha Johnson, um, Matthew. That's our brother right there. Um, so this is the future right now. I don't know where things are going. Right. I don't know what's going to happen. But this movement is happening, and the more people we can get to attend events like this, to really see in the physical and hear people's story, because a lot of these speakers, I've seen some of these speakers before. They bring the fucking facts. They bring the facts. They bring the legitimate history, where you can't deny the probabilities of the personal stories of being in programs. Um, so that's what I have to say about that. And then, um, if you stop sharing the screen, bro, I'm gonna share. I want to share one last thing, on the YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the producer, right? The producer who just got caught trying to pick up a 15-year-old girl at a pizza shop. This guy produced the movie Space Jam. And then we, in the beginning of this episode, we pulled up all of the other things he was a part of in producing. one of the things he helped produce was a show that was aired on Cartoon Network called Teen Titans. And Teen Titans is a cartoon show where it's all of the comic superheroes that we know of, like Robin and other characters as teenagers, as kids and teenagers doing what they do. And so we're gonna watch this one clip here. All right, do you see the screen?
Yep, I see it.
You see it? Okay.
There's no sound. I think sound has to be.
Oh, there's no sound? How do I get the sound?
So if you screen share and it's a tab, you also want to also share tab audio needs to be checked on at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, in the little window of selection, do you see also share tab audio and a little like tab to the right? Like when you're selecting a tab to share or screen?
No.
Okay, so you press screen share.
Press.
Is this a specific, do you have the specific name for it and I'll pull it up?
Okay, yeah. So it is Teen Titans Illuminati Exposed.
What is the Illuminati appeared in Teen Titans Go?
Yeah, it should only be like 2.5 minutes.
Yep, 2:26. Oh, of course I have an ad. Okay.
Not that one.
No? Okay.
Scroll down. Go down. Oh, too far. Okay, go ahead and play that first one. Sorry.
This one?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Alright guys, so there's a Teen Titans Go episode called Master Detective. The synopsis for this episode is that Robin uses his skills as a master detective to discover what happened to the animals that live outside Titan's Tower. Now overall, here's what I have to say about the episode.
Yeah, it's kind of standard.
But before I get to the main part of the video, I just want to say this entire episode is basically me when I was making Gravity Falls theories. You'll see Robin searching for clues and making clues out of like every small thing, so yeah.
Now sit back and watch the Master Detective work. There must be a trick stalagmite or maybe these pebbles are a clue!
Now eventually, towards the end of the episode, they actually come across the Illuminati, and they do mention the Illuminati in the show, like they actually say the word. This is honestly pretty interesting because I don't really see many cartoons like straight out say the Illuminati is here. Like I know cartoons sometimes have references to the Illuminati, but they never actually say it. And in Gravity Falls, Bill's cipher is like a direct representation of the Illuminati. Even though he's not actually Illuminati, it's just basically a parody because he's the pyramid seen on the dollar bill. But anyway, Teen Titans Go did have the Illuminati as a character on the show, and this only lasted like 2 or 3 minutes, but the fact that they actually point it out and say the Illuminati and talk about it is pretty cool.
I suppose there's no harm in walking you through our plan for world domination. We did work hard on it. It all starts here. With the banks.
Now I know Teen Titans Go may not be a good show, but still, this is pretty interesting to see. I would say the only really bad thing about the episode is that the meme of Illuminati is dead. Like, you know that meme where people are adding and subtracting things, and then in the end they'll say, Illuminati confirmed. Well, that was a meme like a few years ago, and it's pretty dead right now. It's one of the most unfunny and unoriginal YouTube comments. I bet on this video there's going to be a ton of comments saying, oh my god, Illuminati confirmed. I challenge you to make an actually good Illuminati confirmed joke, although the meme is super dead, so I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I just thought overall this...
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that was enough. That wasn't the right one. But whatever, we're done. You know. Anyways, well, that's it for
Well,
today's
that's
episode, you guys. Go ahead, bro.
no, that's a good let's just tee that up for another time, where like it just like the symbols that appear right in popular media.
So
Yeah.
Felicia says, remember my dream I shared last time with you about the young boys? Maybe this is the producer of that programming I saw. I don't know, but somehow I think it's connected, and it probably really is all connected. That's the reason why we're pointing this out. You know, I have another friend on social media who messaged me, and I forgot what prompted her to tell me that she was having some kind of memory of wearing some kind of goggles and being hypnotized and watching Looney Tunes. And then I said, "Oh, watch this." And I sent her the video that I made about Space Jam, and she was like, "Oh fuck, holy shit, my mind is completely blown because this is what I was feeling, but didn't have enough context to what this was all about." And so, you know, that's why I'm sharing this. That's why we're putting this together and pointing out again that the producer just got caught trying to pick up a girl, 15-year-old girl at a pizza shop, because this shit is real. And there are people all over the world that are having memories or dreams or feelings, but no context to put them in. And, you know, I hope that this video helps people start to see in a whole new light of how much of this stuff has always been in our faces.
Awesome. Thank you for that, and thank you for sharing this, because it's coming out, and it's 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 out in the open now, and we're
Mhm.
pushing it out in the open. So thank you everyone for having joined us today. Tune in next week, where we'll have another episode of Unscripted Liberation Codes.
Yeehaw.
Ciao, everyone.